So that brings me to because I think one thing we haven't touched on, we had an episode, I can't remember how many months ago, around dashboards, but that brings me to
Mm,
that. I think it really is so you and I have said
yeah.
this over and over again. If there is one thing I could give advice to for any agency, even again as a freelancer, you got to build yourself a dashboard. I don't care if that's in Google Sheets. I don't care if it's in Excel. I don't care if it's through code and Python and using Dash or whatever you want to use. Streamlit, if you want to use Looker Studio, if you want to use some third-party paid software, go for it. Just build yourself a dashboard that all your clients can get plugged into and that you can customize so that you can track the things that are important to you and your client, but mostly to your client, because that is what's going to determine most of the optimizations that you're making and the decisions that you're making inside of the account.
Mate, I'm so glad you said that. I had a chat with my business partner probably 2 weeks ago, maybe last week. Time goes by fast. And I said to him, the data that we pull for clients would literally take someone probably 45 minutes, 50 minutes to pull it. And then it's not even dynamic, just for a call or a monthly report. Now you do that across dozens of clients. You're just not going to be able to do it. And then that's why most agencies are spending so much time on manual reporting or manually checking accounts. You need dashboards. And more importantly, you need simplified dashboards. So I think every business should just have like a one-page dashboard that just gives them like the health check on all parts of their business. If you don't want to do it in your business, at least on your advertising for the different
Mm-hmm.
channels, how much you're spending, and have the dynamic nature to choose it by month or by year and have some tables and graphs in it. The biggest issue that I see is a business is going, we're not making money or we've got this problem in our business. Let's take this action. But the problem with that is they just assume that there's a problem in that area of the business. And they're like, oh, let's just change something in the ads or something in the process. And it's like, what data do you have to support that? And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, the sales are down. It's like, no, but what data do you actually have to support
Yeah.
that? And this is the thing, you cannot identify gaps unless you've actually got data. Now, some people might go, oh, but you can't have data on this. You can. You can actually have data on everything. The problem is your thinking patterns are limited that you don't realize that you can have data on it. A lot of the times, once again, you can use Excel. If you just export data in there, you can do pretty crazy stuff with sum ifs, count ifs, like filters, all this stuff. But if you start taking actions on stuff in business based on like a gap that's not based on data, you will start breaking things that are working. So the thing that's probably
Yeah.
even propping things up when the business is broken, you're probably going to break that because it's usually the thing that's working that you're like, oh, it must be that thing. The biggest thing over my years is there's a problem in the business. Let's fix something in the ads. And it's like, dude, the ads is what bring you in the leads and the sales. Like, don't touch this. Fix your business. Like, no, if we just get a lower cost per lead or like a higher conversion rate, then everything will work. It's like, no, if your sales rate's like fucking 2%, that's not like, and more leads is not going to fix this. Like
Yeah.
you've got to increase your sales rate from 2% to 20%, and then you'll start to see shifts in your business.
Wait. So, Michael, you're saying if I raise click-through rates and lower CPCs, that's not going to make people want to buy my products and services more? I'm confused. That's what I've been told, isn't it?
Hey, actually, you know what, Cory? You're right. It is. I'm just lazy. I'm just super lazy. I'm like, nah, these clowns can like pay me money for them to do more work. No, the reality is, man, like this is a big issue. And especially when you've got different data points, like offline data points. And because we're talking about ads here, we'll come from the ad perspective of just like,
Yeah.
you've got your ad data, spend, clicks, conversion rates, leads, sales, whatever, and then you can import offline data. A big thing that we do because we work with property developers is, we've got ad platform data in terms of clicks, leads, conversion, spend. Actually, no, we don't use. We actually use offline leads because they're more accurate towards what the real number is, not what the platform says. But it's also Google and Facebook. We split it down by channel. And then also we're getting offline data of how many Calendly bookings they're getting, and then also how many deposits and sales. So literally within one dashboard, automated, within 5 seconds, I can see the direct full like funnel from first impression to actual sales and deposits, including bookings of Calendly bookings, real ones, and also real offline leads as well, and all these other data points in a moment. It does take time, and it also takes expertise beyond just going, how do I program this sheet? It's the thinking of what do I need to put into this dashboard that's actually super relevant, but not too much that like now I've got another
that's the
column
trick.
that's irrelevant, but not one less that's actually emitting.
Yep.
It requires expertise, and you can't just download a dashboard what someone else says. It requires you
Yep.
knowing the client and their industry. It's not
Exactly.
about the ad platform or
Yep.
knowing sheets or a dashboard. It's about those two things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the first thing I always say. It's a guiding light and it doesn't seem related necessarily on its surface, but clearly defining the objectives and ensuring that you're aligning on the main goals before diving into your daily tasks. That is the starting point of being organized. You must know very clearly what the objectives of the clients are, because again, that
That's
is going
it.
to be your guiding light to the things you're going to be doing on a daily basis.